Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial I'll be showing us how I cut and sew this beautiful gown with yoke and a structured sleeve. I made this outfit with a 4.5 years of Ankara fabric by 45 length. So if you want to know everything about this gown, right from the cutting and to the finishing part, make sure you watch this video to the end, and please remember to subscribe, like and share this video. So guys, let's quickly get started. I'll be starting this tutorial with the upper part of my dress. So the first measurement I will take is my neck depth measurement, which is 3 inches from the shoulder. So after that, I will go ahead and take my bust line. I'm taking bust line of 8.5 inches. So the next measurement I will take is from my shoulder to my bust point, which is 10.5 inches. Then I will go ahead and take my under bust measurement from my shoulder, which is 14.5 inches, and my half length for this outfit is 17.5 inches. So that is it for the vertical measurements. This is the front part of my dress. So I will come back to my shoulder. I will take my shoulder measurement divided by 2, that's 16 inches divided by 2, and that will give me 8 inches. So I will come to my bust line. I will take the same measurement, 8 inches. Then I will now connect the line to the shoulder part. So this line now will serve as my armhole line. So the next measurement I will take is my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 8 inches divided by 2. So I will add half an inch, and that will make it 4.5 inches. So after that, I will take 2 inches for my dart. That's the side front. I will take 2 inches. Then on the center front, I will take 1 inch. So I'm taking that on my half length line and my under bust. So I will come to my bust point. I will come down by 1 inch, and I will go up by 3/4 of an inch. So I'll go ahead and connect my darts. Can you see? So I'm connecting it from the under bust to my bust points. Remember, your bust is in between your bust point and your bust line, your under bust and your bust line. So I'll come to my armhole line. I will divide it by 2. Then I will come down by 1 inch. I will go up by 1 inch from the midpoint of my armhole. Then I will connect the 1 inch up to the center front. Then the 1 inch down, I will connect it to the side front. So this will now serve as my armhole dart. This is a Princess bustier cotton. So because of the 2 inches that I'm cutting out, I will add that 2 inches to the side front. Can you see that? So that it will not be shorter when I'm joining them back together, when I'm joining the side front to the center front. So that is what it is. So I will come back to my neckline. I will take my neck width. I'm taking neck width of 3.5 inches for this particular outfit. So the next thing I will do is to take all my horizontal measurements. I will take my bust measurement divided by 4. Then I will add my dart. The dart I have here there is just 1/2 inch. So I will add it, then I will add my sewing allowance. So I'll go to my half length. I will take my round half length divided by 4. Then I will add the 3 inches I'm cutting out. Then I will add my sewing allowance. So I'll go ahead and cut. I'm cutting this with the lining. Later I will transfer it to the main fabric. I will do the same thing to the back part. I like cutting my clothes with the lining so that there will be no stain on the main fabric. So this is what it is. So I'm going to cut both the hasty this way. Can you see? So this is for the front. So I'm done cutting the front. I will go ahead and cut the back part of the upper part of my dress. So I'll go ahead and indicate the length of the back part of my dress, which is 17 inches. So after that, I will now indicate my bust line, which is 8.5 inches. So I will connect the two lines. This is the back part, so I don't need much lines here. So after that, the next thing I will take is 1 inch for my zip allowance. That's the 1 inch right there. So I will measure this 1 inch to the length of the upper part of my dress, which is 17 inches. So I'll do that from the shoulder to the 17 inches length. So after that, I will now measure my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 8 inches divided by 2. That will give me 4 inches. I added 1/2 inch for sewing allowance. So I will take that line from my half length line to my bust line. So after that, the next measurement I'm taking right here is my shoulder measurement divided by 2. So I will take the same 8 inches, both on my shoulder and my bust line, just as I did at the front part. So I'll now take my neck width, which is 3.5, and my neck depth, which is 1 inch. So I'll connect it down to the zip allowance. So I will now connect it from the midpoint of my armhole line. I will now connect my princess cut. This is for the back. Can you see? So I'll go to the half length line. I will take half an inch for my darts. I'm taking 1/2 inch for the both side. So I'll connect it. The back is very simple. There's no bust point, no under bust. So I will take my bust circumference divided by 4. I will add 2 inches for sewing allowance. So I'll go to my half length. I will take my round half length divided by 4. I will add the 1 inch I'm going to cut out to it. So I'll go ahead and cut. So after cutting this, I will go ahead and cut it on my main fabric. Please make sure you watch this video to the end if you want to know how to cut and stitch that beautiful dress you saw at the beginning of this tutorial. So we are done with the upper part. We'll go ahead and cut the down part, which is also the skirt part. So the first measurement I'm taking vertically is my hip line. From my waist to my hip is 9 inches. So after that, I will take my knee length. My knee length is 21 inch. I will come up by 2 inches. So I'm taking 19 inches for the knee length. That is from my waist to my knee. So the total length of this gown is 59 inches. So I've taken away 17 inches. So the remaining part will now be for the skirt part. So I will come to my waistline. I will take my waist circumference divided by 4. I will add 3 inches both for my darts. I'm adding that to the front part of this gown. So my hip line, I will take my hip circumference divided by 4, sorry. I will now add 2 inches for sewing allowance. So I will come to my knee line. Whatever I have around my hip, I will remove 1.5 inch from it. So I will take the same measurement on the down side, the down part of my skirt part. Can you see? So what I have on my knee line is what I have at the down part of my gown. If you want it to be more pencil, you can remove 0.5 inch from whatever you have around your knee. So that is it for the front part of this down part. I'll go ahead and place a fresh fabric for the back part. So the only difference with the front and the back is just the zip allowance. So I'll go ahead and cut it. So the next thing is the skirt, the front part. There's always a slope at the front. So I'll go ahead and trim it out. So I remove 0.75 inch for my slope. That front, the center front, that center front part. So this is it. I've slashed the zip part open. So I'll go ahead and indicate it by making a notch on the zip allowance. So I'll also cut this with the main fabric. Remember that the main fabric has to be 1.5 inch longer than the lining. Please take note. So this is the upper part. I've ironed hairstay to the fabric, and I've ironed both my wedding to the bust area. Can you see? So I've joined them together. I've joined my center front to the side front. So I'll go ahead and iron it. This is the back part. I ironed hairstay and I've joined them together. Can you see? So remember to notch at the under bust. So this is what it is. So I'll go ahead and take my final trimming. I didn't cut out the neckline. So I'm going to cut it now. So I'm always joining before cutting out my neckline when I'm making a dress like this. So this is my final trimming. This is 3.5 by 3 inches, 3.5 neck width. You can decide to take 3.5 neck depth too. It will still be fine. So that I will take my bust measurement divided by 4. Can you see? That's my shoulder slope. I was not able to explain this part very well but I've done this in my several videos. So I didn't do this because of the length of the video. So it's just for you to take all your horizontal measurements, So this is the final trimming. Take all your measurements. So can you see that? So the next thing I will do is to cut out the yoke. So from the shoulder, I came down by 4 inches. If you want the yoke to come down very well, you can come down by 5 or 6 inches on the armhole. Then the center parts, I've cut out 3 inches for my neck depth. So the length of my yoke is about 7.5 inches from the shoulder. So I will now use my curve ruler and create that sweetheart neckline. So this part will now serve as the yoke. So I'm going to replace it with the net fabric I used for the yoke. Can you see? So 4 inches from my shoulder, the armhole side. Then I connected it to 7.5 inches to the center front. So this will now form the sweetheart neckline. So I'll cut it out. So this is what it looked like. So I'll replace it with the net fabric. It's not actually neck fabric. That fabric is very, very beautiful. Can you see? So this is what I have. This is now the tube part. So I'm going to replace the yoke. So guys, this is what it is. So I will use it and cut the lining. I will just place it on top of the lining. But remember, we are not using the yoke of the lining. The lining has no yoke. So we only use the lining to turn it. Can you see? So go ahead and trim the back part. The back part has no yoke. So I'll just trim it. Remember, I'm using 3.5 inches neck width and 1 inch neck depth. So that's it. I'm not cutting out any yoke for the back. So I'll notch the zip allowance. So this is the yoke. So I added 1/2 inch for joining to the yoke. As in for joining its back. So I added 1/2 inch to the sweetheart part. Can you see that? So this is, I didn't double it because the material is already thick. So I'll go ahead and turn it with the lining. The yoke is in between the lining and the main fabric. So this part you can actually use your needle because it's very deep. In case your machine cannot do it, you can use your hand needle to do this. So that's it. So this is the down part. I've turned it with the lining. Remember I told you that the main fabric has to be 1.5 inches longer than the lining. So I've turned it. I also turn the zip part. Just look at the way I'm going to turn it. Can you see? So I'll stitch it. Then I will now sew my darts. So this is it. This is what it look like. Can you see that? So I turned and top stitch on the zip side. Remember to top stitch also at the down part. Can you see how neat it is? So this is the front part. After turning it with the lining, I top stitch on the lining. So this is what it look like. Very neat and beautiful. So the next thing I will do is to turn all the side, both for the back parts, the down part of my dress. I will turn it because I don't want to weave, I don't want it to be rough inside. So I will turn all the side. Can you see that? So I'm done doing that. So this is the upper part. This is the back part. So I'll go ahead and join them. Can you see? This is the front part. I will join it to the down part. So always indicate the midpoint so that one side will not be longer than one. So I'll be turning the neckline with the bias. So I'll go ahead and turn it, then top stitch on the bias before I will now stitch it together. I will now stitch on it, not together, just to turn it and stitch. Can you see? So I've joined the down part to the upper part. Guys, I'm sure you have given this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not done that. Subscribe for more tutorials. Thank you so very much. So this is the back part. This is the zip allowance area. Can you see how it look like? So the next thing I will do is to open it. I will open the zip area. So after that, I will go ahead and face my zip. So after facing my zip, the next thing I will do is to join the shoulders. So guys, we are done with that. The next thing I will do is to cut the sleeve. I told you that everything about this tutorial is in this video. So I folded my fabric twice because I'll be cutting the two sleeves at once. So from the shoulder points of what I have on fold here is 14 inches and the length is 15 inches. Though I later reduced the length of the width of the sleeve from that 14 inches. I reduced it to 12 inches. Can you see? That is 12 by 15 inches. So I will now rule a line down to connect the length and the width. So on that end part, I came down by 5 inches. So from this part, this is the folding part, I came down by 9 inches. If you want the upper part to be shorter, you can just do 7.5 or 8 inches if you want your sleeve to be smaller. But for this particular fabric, I came down by 1 inch. So on that down part, I came up by 1 inch again. So from that 5 inches, I will now connect it to the shoulder. Then I will now connect the 9 inches to the 1.5 inch that I came up with. So can you see? So this is what it looked like. The folding part, I came down by 9 inches. This part, I came down by 5 inches. So that is the slope. So I'll go ahead and cut. So the next thing I will do is to cut my thick paper stay, the thick one. So if you don't use that thick one, this sleeve will not stand the way you saw it on that video. So I will cut it exactly like this. I will cut my hairstay exactly like this, and I will cut my main fabric exactly like that. So I will iron the paper stay, the thick paper stay. I will iron it on the main fabric, then iron hairstay on the lining. So these are the things I'll be using for this sleeve. I have my crinoline, I have my bony, the one you can stitch on. Then I have my fabric. So that's it. Can you see? So I'll go ahead and iron. Can you see? I've ironed my hairstay on the lining, and I iron my hard paper gum on the main fabric. So this is my crinoline. I will place my crinoline on top of the lining. So the main fabric is the first one, is the under, followed by the lining, then the crinoline, then my bony, my sewable bony will now be on top. Please make sure you don't sew both your crinoline and the bony from the beginning because of the turning. So I will now place my bony on top. So I will give half an inch gap from my lining and my main fabric. Can you see what they look like? Can you see? I've stitched 4 of them together. My main fabric, lining, crinoline, and bony. So I'll go ahead and notch. Right now, it will not be very easy for you to top stitch, but you have to, see? So you push the seam allowance to the lining side, you now top stitch on top. So you have to be very careful while top stitching. Can you see? Can you see what they look like? I've ironed. Make sure you iron with a very heat iron. So this is what it look like. Can you see? So I will now stitch the upper parts together. I will stitch the main fabric and the lining together. So I will now measure the part I will gather. So I measured 7.5 inches from the folded part. So I will indicate it. Can you see? So I will start my gathering from that part. Can you see that? So this is what it look like. Isn't this beautiful? Very astounding. Can you see? So this is what it is. So I'll go ahead and cut the main sleeve. This is the knit, the sleeve inside. So you know how to cut your normal sleeve. So I folded it twice. So I have 4 layers because I'm cutting both the 2 fabric together. So from my shoulder point, the length of this sleeve is actually 23 inches. So I will indicate that. So I'll take my round wrist, that's the width of my sleeve, that part, the wrist. So from the shoulder point, I came down by 4 inches. So from that 4 inches, I will now take my round armhole measurements. So after that, I came down by 8 inches. This is for my bicep. So on that, I will take my round bicep I will divide it into 2. So whatever it is, remember your bicep is the upper part of your hand, that fat part, the biggest part of your hand. So my client's own is actually 15 inches. So I'll go ahead and cut. So this is my sleeve. Please remember to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, put on your notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a new video in this channel. Thank you so very much guys for watching. Please share my video, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so very much. Remember to hit that like button. So this is my sleeve. I will go ahead and join it. So I will join this one first. You can join them together. So the main body of the cloth is the first, followed by the sleeve, the structured sleeve, then followed by the knit sleeve. So I'll go ahead and join it round my armhole. So I'll start my joining from the shoulder. So after joining one part, I'll go ahead and join the other part. So this is what it looked like after joining it. So I'll use my bias to close this part. So I'll turn it to the wrong side. Can you see? Like right now, this is very stiff. So you have to hold it very firm with your hand. So you push the structured fabric inside. Can you see what I'm doing? So you now stitch all of them together down to the down part of your dress. So after stitching it, I will come back, I will trim out the seam allowance for the structured sleeve. Then I will now cover it with my bias so that it will not disturb my client. Thank you so very much guys for watching, and bye for now.